In the least surprising news ever, Chuck the Cuck Schumer got played by Donald Trump and the Republican Party yet again. For what, the fifth time now in 2018? Because we all know that Donald Trump is huffing and puffing and demanding $5 billion for the border wall that he wants to put on our southern border he once said that Mexico would pay for. And throughout this process, he's trying to get Democrats to give him the money and agree to this money. So is Chuck Schumer holding strong? Well, this is what he said when asked if he would agree to $5 billion in funding to a border wall.
President Trump appears determined to get $5 billion for his border wall in the spending bill. Would Democrats agree to that sum spread out over 2 years?
I believe three things. Number one, we are for strong border security. The bill we originally put together in 2013 had $40 billion, and we are for strong border security. We've made numerous proposals. Number two, the $1.6 billion for border security negotiated by Democrats and Republicans is our position. We believe that is the right way to go. Third, if there's any shutdown, it's on President Trump's back. First, left to our own devices, the Senate and House could come to an agreement. Second, the Republicans are in control of the presidency, the House, and the Senate. A shutdown is on their back. Stick to the $1.6 billion. Yes.
That is absolutely pathetic, albeit amazing somehow at the same time, because it's clear that, with his posture, the way he's using his thumb and moving it up and down, he thinks that he's standing strong. He thinks he's being tough. He's trying to make it seem as if he's not actually cowering in fear to the Republican Party and Donald Trump in the way he usually does. We will be strong. We will not give Donald Trump $5 billion. We will, however, give him $1.6 billion for the border wall. And if you're agreeing to give him even a single penny for the border wall, what is it that you're going to get in return, Chuck? What are you getting in return? What policy concessions are you getting from the Republican Party to agree to $1.6 billion in funding? Money we could use to alleviate homelessness, eliminate some of the student loan debt. What exactly are you getting in return? And the answer is, obviously, he's not getting anything in return. Now, once he realized how angered liberals were, he took to Twitter to assure us that it's really not what it looks like, saying, "Our position has been clear from the beginning. Democrats and Republicans have a months-old agreement in the Senate, $1.6 billion for border security, not a concrete wall or increases in detention beds or ICE agents. We should stick to this agreement. If POTUS interferes, he is responsible for a shutdown." Oh, okay, I see. So you're giving him $1.6 billion for border security, and you're telling him, I'm giving you this money to deal with immigration, so that way you'll be assisted in your xenophobic immigration policies, but you can't spend it in the way I say. I'm sure he's definitely going to listen to you. I'm sure that when you use your thumb and go like this, Chuck, he's going to be shaking in his boots. He's going to be terrified, and he'll definitely not use that to fund the wall on the border, which is specifically why he's telling you he wants $5 billion. And I love how he's trying to talk tough on the prospect of a government shutdown. What happened the last time? Earlier this year, when the government was shut down and Democrats in the Senate essentially had Republicans backed into a corner, when it seemed as if Americans would blame Republicans for that, Chuck Schumer caved within 2 days, and he showed that he was too much of a coward to stand up for dreamers, but, don't worry, because he said that caving was important since Mitch McConnell promised him there'd be a vote on DACA. Well, let me ask you this, Chuck Schumer, Mr. Master Negotiator. Have you guys had a vote on DACA yet? Have Republicans actually came through on any of the promises that they've given to you? Chuck Schumer has got to be the most feckless leader in the history of American politics. Definitely in the history of the Democratic Party. He is the worst leader ever. I mean, I've never seen someone who caves at even the slightest semblance of pressure from the Republican Party. He doesn't want to deal with it. He just caves immediately, and then we all get fucked because he doesn't have a spine. And summarized perfectly by Frank Dale of Think Progress, in addition to clearing the way for numerous Trump judicial nominations, Schumer has condemned fellow Democrats while calling for more civility in politics, enabled the repeal of financial regulations put in place after the Great Recession, praised Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, praised the president for moving the U.S. Embassy in Israel, backed the confirmation of Homeland Security Secretary John Kelly, FBI Director Christopher Wray, CIA Director Mike Pompeo, U.S. Ambassador to the UN Nikki Haley, Director of National Intelligence Dan Coates, Defense Secretary James Mattis, Veteran Affairs Secretaries David Shulkin and Robert Wilkie, and Agriculture Secretary Sonny Perdue. In other words, if we literally replaced Chuck Schumer with one of those magic 8 balls, there would be a higher statistical chance that we'd have a leader that says no to Republicans. Because, I mean, even the bare minimum that we expect from him, we don't get. Oh, what's that? You want more federal judges approved? Here you go, Republicans. You want funding for your border wall, Trump? Here you go. Here's $1 billion. I won't give that to progressives who want Medicare for all. No way. But here you go, Trump. You can use this to build a wall that's completely unnecessary and won't actually address the root issue here. It is baffling to even comprehend how someone as cowardly as Chuck Schumer was able to get himself into a position of leadership. I mean, there are people in the Senate that can maybe negotiate with Chuck Schumer and actually maneuver him out of his leadership position and get him to think he came away victorious. In fact, someone should do that. Sherrod, you should try to challenge Chuck Schumer. We need a new leader in the Senate because currently we just don't have a leader. In fact, no leader, I think, would be better than Chuck Schumer. Simply writing no on a sign and putting it in Chuck's chair would be more effective than Chuck Schumer himself. Because he gives in to the Republicans time after time after time. And I remember right after the 2016 election, he talked about how excited he was because this really presents Democrats with an opportunity to challenge Republicans, and he's going to hold them accountable.
I am not afraid of Donald Trump. I am not afraid of the Republicans, and we're going to hold their feet to the fire. I am actually excited about this opportunity.
Well, 2 years down the line, you've essentially blended in with Republicans, Chuck, because you are not just enabling them, but you are doing their bidding now. You're giving them funding for a border wall. And the problem is that the media is also aiding and abetting Republicans by giving cover to Chuck Schumer as he is complicit with the Republican Party's extremist right-wing agenda. I mean, look at this op-ed. Quote, Democrats should just give Trump his wall. Wow, just give it to him. Just give him the wall. Medicare for all? You don't get that, Americans. But this wall, just give it to him. Just shut up and give it to him so you can get back to the other issues. As if he wouldn't push for something else he wanted. Which then they would tell Democrats to cave as well. And as Emma Vigeland puts it, I look forward to Politico's article entitled, Republicans Should Just Give Democrats Medicare for All. When is that set to be published? October 42nd, negative 0.5 BC? Exactly, because we would never see that. We only see willingness to cave from the left, the supposed left. And Chuck Schumer, again, to provide any funding whatsoever is a joke, and he actually thinks he's standing firm in offering $1.6 billion to Donald Trump for something as idiotic as a wall that would make people who are xenophobic feel better. Wouldn't actually curtail immigration in any meaningful way whatsoever, but it would make them feel better. He's willing to give them $1.6 billion, and he thinks he's strong because he didn't cave to Trump's $5 billion. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if he did just offer Trump the $5 billion and then tell us that he came out of this with, a really great deal that Mitch McConnell is going to promise a vote on something. That will never happen. You're not going to get concessions, and as a result, you need to block and obstruct. But Chuck Schumer, is conservative himself, so he's not too angry that Republicans are getting what they want, because deep down, he is conservative. This segment of the Humanist Report was brought to you by TYT. To support the Humanist Report and TYT simultaneously, you can become a TYT insider for $4.99 per month by going to tyt.com/thehumanist-report, or you can go to tyt.com/thr to become a $10 member. You'll get access to all of TYT's shows, post-game extras, as well as behind-the-scenes content. So sign up today at tyt.com.